Thank you, thank you, thank you. Namaste, everyone. Thank you, thank you, thank you for joining this today's satsang, which is being held at the Ramana Gardens. Whose Ramana Garden is a project, as you know, that's been run by Sri Prabhavati. She's here with us, and the organizer of today's event is Sri Oinak. Oinak, I can see you there. Thank you, and thank you so much for seeing you now, and thank you for the invitation to join in satsang for what is a very noble cause, actually, to support the children at Ramana Gardens and this project to continue healthily. So I'm happy that so many people felt to join today's satsang. And as I'm speaking to you, I'm seeing all the pages so that I'm having a chance to register each person's presence today. So you might find my eyes going like this, but I'm simply having a chance to see the many faces who are joining today and to welcome you inside my heart. Wonderful. So that's the next page I'm on to. So just give me a few moments to look through like this. Beautiful, wonderful. Someone sharing there, Jeremy. Thank you. Wonderful. Now, yes, we're moving a bit fast. The pages. Hi, Leah. Thank you. Very good. Okay, next. Little Lucas. Oh. Thank you. Thank you. Wonderful. Thank you. And it is especially wonderful because, normally round about this time we are ready to be in India, to travel to be in Rishikesh. But as you know, I don't have to go into that. We are not able to for now. And so it's a wonderful opportunity to meet with so many of you today, have this chance to sit together, to have a talk, see what can happen today. So once again, thanks Sri Prabhavati and Oinak also for putting on this event today. And good. I'm here ready. And I have someone here who's got a few hands up. One person even driving as they do. So I am really not so, Eduardo, I don't think, huh? Or you are not driving, you are a passenger.
Yes.
Yeah, okay, all right. Okay, so where can we start now? Surya, let me start with you. What are you to share? We'll just take a moment so we can log into your space there a bit. I think it's coming up. I think there we go. Namaste.
Mooji Baba, can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can quite clearly, actually.
Wow. It's so beautiful to see you. I'm so happy to have this opportunity and the privilege to talk to you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank
Mutually.
you.
Mutually. Okay. Very good.
I I've attended all your recent online retreats, and I really wanted to just thank you because your teachings have had a profound impact on my life. Um, you really helped me just the practice of saying thank you. I just absolutely love it, and the practice of not identifying with things. Both
Yes,
of them
yes.
have helped me so much.
Very, very good.
Um,
Very good.
thank you,
Thanks to you. Thank you. Thank you.
thank you,
I,
Mujiba.
I wondered also before, what kind of, who were going to join today's satsang, because I have, of course, people of varying spiritual maturity coming to satsangs. And this is an open satsang like this, so I was very happily curious who might come and how our satsangs might go today. I'm very open. Let's see. It's a very open day, and it's quite beautiful. And to start with such a testimony that you are finding tremendous benefit from the pointers, from the guidance received about not getting too personal, not get involved too much, be more distant and so on. And that you see that it works. And the amazing thing is that it starts to work very quickly. And so I don't have to send you off, look, you go for 6 months and do this. No, I say that this is a tree that when planted, it bears fruit immediately.
Hmm.
And the reason why I can say that is that through these satsangs, I'm not so much asking you to be creative and to develop something, but more to discover and to come to a recognition of a deeper level of consciousness than most people are used to. We feel so much that the personal identity is the fact of our being. But many of you, including yourself, are discovering that there are depths beyond and behind the facade of personhood that, when discovered, yield such wonderful spaciousness and I can continue making lists of wonderfulness about it, but I would like to leave that to the discovering, because it is immediate enough, and of course it will take time to stabilize. This is an important thing I can just mention now, because one can come even without the kind of background that we imagine we need to benefit spiritually. I begin at the place that we are already, the self is there, but it is eclipsed by the worldly conditioning that places us in the limited perspective of the body, mind, and conditioned self, which, when you are living by that, in that layer of identity, of course, if you know no more, that world seems quite huge. But as you come to the place where you're able to witness that, including the person we take ourselves to be, you're discovering, whoa, what is this? You're into a much greater dimension and more true and free of the anxieties of personhood. And there's still deeper yet to go. So what a discovery, you see, when we are only as we are leaving one stage or one level or one mode and transcending that, are we able to look back and to really see, whoa, that was a very narrow way of looking and living. Only as you're leaving. While we are in the state, it feels like everything to us. And that is one of the wonderful things when people begin to discover the truth within themselves. So, thank you. Did you want to say something more than this also?
Yes, I also wanted to say during the last retreat, you gave us a wonderful practice of being present.
Yes.
And I've been doing that moment to moment, just getting in the body, being present, not
Yeah.
thinking. And I found it to be really just so profound, helpful, and just peaceful. So thank you for that too. Thank you. Thank you,
Yes,
beloved.
yes. And one thing, if I can, acknowledge your discovery, but don't make tattoos out of any stage. You are continuing to dissolve the lesser truth into the greater truth, and just be open. I often say, avoid making any conclusions because they will be premature conclusions about anything you are experiencing. Stay like this vast emptiness, and you can observe everything coming, but don't take shape with any shape that come. Just observe like that, and that's a wonderful pointer that you will see also how immense the self is, not in an objective view, in a very subjective sense. You will see. So good. Thank you. Very
Thank
wonderful.
you.
Thank you, my love.
Thank
Thank you. Thank you.
you.
Okay, wonderful. All right. More hands are going. Eduardo Rodriguez. Okay, there you go. Let me have a word. Hello,
Can you hear
Eduardo.
me?
Yes, yes.
Oh, I just love you so much,
Yeah.
honestly. I'm in the United States, in California, and I came across you like a year ago, and this year has just been like amazing because everything that you speak is just it's just true, you know. And at times there's just like confusion because it seems like everyone else around me is still in the midst of the mind.
Yes.
And, it's like at times I feel lonely, but then I just like put on a video of yours and just hear every word that you speak, and it hits my heart every single time.
This is beautiful.
And I've been waiting for this moment to talk to you for a good amount of time because you have saved my life. You just have given me everything and asked for nothing. And I just I'm just so thankful and grateful to be able to have you in my life.
Yes.
And yeah,
It is wonderful, that you see, although as you are discovering and moving beyond the shallow field of personhood and discovering the truth of yourself, you see, it is true for many people, for almost all who are on this internal discovery journey. You will start to feel that there's not so many people you can relate to from this place. And that, I want you to know, it is a natural phenomenon. It will happen like that for a while. But it also gives you time to not bring this into a social limited space. And that for a while it is important also to learn to be alone for a while, not just to be with this, and to keep marinating in what you have discovered and what you are discovering, you see. Because the self does not really need friends in so much. I'm going to say this now. And you'll find that although it might feel you're left alone with less people to relate to, but your being is expanding so enormously that you're able to be in each contact, you have a truer interaction with each contact, even without words, you may notice at some time. just as you stay, you're able to feel very, very much grounded and in harmony with any environment if you have no expectations of them. And in time, in the right time, just leave it to the self and to the unfolding. It will bring to you those who are, you know, destined to meet up with you, to have a better flow of communication. At the same time, we don't reject those that we love. And the people, you know, many people that you have met in your life, they love you. It's just that they may not be able to relate to where you are at this moment. And you know, that is not so unusual because, in fact, we are each so unique, even at the personal level. So it is understandable that, you know, one of the things you will experience is a sense of being cocooned in a new discovering that, and then at the same time, not being able to relate to the usual associations that you have for a while. But regard it as a blessing. It's a tremendous blessing to hear from someone like yourself, Eduardo, right now, speaking like this in the space of a year of coming into understanding like that. That is tremendous, you know. And actually, I don't think anybody can understand anybody else. We just think we do. We think, yeah, you know, we have a picture of each other. But you're moving out deeper than the picture zone into a space of being. And this
Yeah.
beingness corresponds to all expressions in the world, actually.
Yeah, you know, like I said, every word you speak is just so true. You know, when I had this quote unquote like awakening experience, right? When I experienced just pure awareness, you know, just like I was here, but there was no noise, there was no mind, you know, there was nothing. I had no idea what that was. You know, when that happened, I was on this journey of self development. You know, I started to read self development books, how to become a better person. You know, uh, how to manifest the life that I wanted. You know, that's the kind of like the path that I was on. And then this experience happened, and it was the opposite of what I was doing. And then you came into my life, and you by the invitation of freedom, you brought me back to that place. You know, you not even brought me back to that place because I've always been here. And now everything, like everything, every sensation, everything, every emotion, every feeling, every idea, every thought, is seen. You know, before it arises, I am here already. And you know,
Wonderful.
the mind has this trick, and it's the dream, right? The things that it aspires to do. And at times it has like I can see that the pull is stronger because of the current situation, the current life that I'm experiencing, and then it paints this beautiful picture of what could be experienced if I only do so. You know, at the same time, I I trust you. I trust when you say to just stay and just observe
Yes.
and let your life unfold, you know, and that part right there to let my life unfold has been a gradual. It has taken me some time to like really accept that, you know, because like you said, because of the habit of wanting to put things in certain place to fulfill what we feel like is going to give us a certain feeling.
Yes.
But it's not true because everything's already here. I don't need to go and do something to find happiness. I don't need to do something to feel joyful, to feel love, or to feel any of those things. It's already here. It's just, like you say, it's just eclipsed by the projections that are mine or the projections of society or whatever it is. And I don't want to live another day in the lie. I just can't do it. I can't wake up another day doing it. I just can't.
This is an amazing testimony, because what you are doing, the gift you are offering of yourself is the gift you're receiving of yourself, actually. And what is happening, actually, I mean, I really hope everyone who is watching today are really paying attention to what is being said here. That is very profound, what you're sharing. And that, to one point, is that whatever arises in the mind or in the outer world or whatever, you are already here to see it appearing, to see it playing, and to see it passing also. And that is a profound recognition, because that is a fact anyway, but it is not understood and recognized, the profundity of that you are here. And you point out another point, which is great, that yes, the mind seems to become even more cunning sometimes, because this has been our habit for so long, the association of thinking that somehow it will keep on projecting new adventures. It will always keep sending you on other journeys. But you have caught it that, wait a second, but I'm watching the journeys, the intention of journeys, the actuality of journeys, and the end of journeys. They come and go, and I'm still here. And for someone to grasp what that is, because often we are buying into the projections and the promises made by the mind, because we have been so much conditioned, cultured, to somehow give that great importance to these things, and not having a time. It's not that we don't have the time to stop. It appears as though we don't have the time. It's not the time we don't have. It's more the urge seems to get blocked. We are so easily distracted by the promises of becoming a better person, getting a better job, doing this, doing that, and so on. But I love that you see this, and how powerful, how potent it is when you see things and recognize that even the seeing of things, you are here before them. You're watching the seeing and what is seen playing out, and just putting the attention on the place where even the act of perceiving is being observed. I cannot say how powerful, how profound that is. It begins to cut the restless traffic of the mind and person, and brings you back, so to speak, into your life of equanimity, harmony, peace, stability, love, wisdom. Everything is coming like this. And you say contrary to what you expected also, while trying to develop a personal sense of self, knowing that the person is unstable. It's ever changeful. It's not reliable. All that you see comes and goes. That's not to say they're bad. It's just that you're understanding the nature of the phenomenal world. Everything comes and goes. Even your own moods and feelings and thoughts, they're coming and going. Your identity is always changing and so on. Only this, the deepest place from where even the act of seeing is perceived, is unchanging. And I feel that this is one thing that is a great possibility in the human kingdom, to discover that alone which is unchanging. And because of the momentum and the urge and the anxieties that come in the mind, this traffic of sensations and of ego identity and all of this, we seem not to be able to look behind the screen of the mind into the truth of self. So whenever I find someone or recognize someone like you, who actually, when I say you must be the proof that truth is, not as an idea, not as a concept, not merely even as a belief, but as the evidence. You see, blessed is the one whose life is the evidence of the true. But evidence to who? It has to be one who themselves are in the search for that truth. Because many people are not able to grasp what is happening to you. They may even have the contrary sort of interpretation that, wow, what's happening to you? Eduardo, what's happening? You're so quiet, man. Are you everything right? Is everything right? Is everything... You see, they will not be able to... But don't be disheartened by that. This is not a 21st century phenomenon, okay? That people, as you are waking up to the truth of yourself, that people are not going to come and embrace you immediately. You have some tests to go through, some little doors, some portals you will pass through. But you stay with it because it is stronger than belief. It is directly experienced, you see. I feel that, so happy for this, that you're flowering in your own being. And just like I say, observe, recognize, keep marinating in the richness of your discovering, and don't make, like I was saying earlier to the previous person, don't make any rigid assessment or conclusion about anything. Just stay like this open space, and you find that life is unfolding as it does, and it seems like everything is following a divine timing if you leave it and don't go just with the mind's projection. But it will take time, and you're stabilizing more and more in the richness of your discovering.
This life is for freedom, and
yes.
That's all. It's like not that it's all that matters, but like I just can't I can't turn around anymore. There's no going back. Yeah, and I'm so thankful and grateful to be able to have this conversation with you. I
love you.
I love you so much.
Wonderful. Love you. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mooji.
Thank you. Wonderful. Okay. Let's see who is up here now. Anna Maria, you want to say something? Anna Maria, I think we're coming to you. Let's take a moment and so we
Hi, Mooji.
Hi, darling. Hi. How are you?
Oh my! I'm so excited and just.
Yeah. Okay. Don't stay in the excitement, though.
No, I'm. Yeah. At the last retreat, I know that you look at us, and I just got this question, I got this excitement, and I was observing it, and I'm like, I'm gonna have a chance to talk with God, and then something said, what is God? And the answer was, I am.
Yes.
And I was with you, and then I got the message that you said that you were with me, and it's just this, for the first time, and I've been with you for 3 years now, it's just this reality of the isness is just so much more profound, and the experience of being what I am and what everything is just so experiential and not conceptual anymore.
Yes.
And I know that if I honor that seeing, that no matter what chaos is happening in this house, which it sometimes does, the seeming chaos is just, it's there, but I'm here, and
that's
it's
wonderful.
Just so beautiful.
Yeah.
And everything just unfolds, and I didn't have a specific question, but if you have any other guidance for me,
yes.
Just to get deeper and just let what not is just completely just.
Yes. Beautiful. Anna Maria, I'm actually deeply touched by these responses. I'm sure people have a wide range of things maybe to ask, but I'm very, very touched by the quality of and the depth of these interactions that are happening right now. Because what you are saying is that actually many people, we are not used to hearing people speak like that, because it sounds totally blasphemous to many ears. I am God, because it's not understood what is meant by that. Not the what we are speaking here is you are discovering, as you use the term, the isness, that which is you're one with that at a deeper place, not as an ego, not as a woman or a man or nationality. It's got nothing to do with nationality or age or gender or belief systems or something altogether beyond the conceptual references. You see, you are discovering this. You discovered this, that it's here, and beyond even belief. So much so that you're able to say today that even when the storms of daily life sometimes blows up into a storm, it can feel loud, but however loud these things are, they are still only momentary in movements inside the immensity of the what is. And I remember saying not so long ago, every happening, when seen from the place of the true, each and every happening amounts to a blip within the immensity of the non-happening, within the immensity of the unchanging, indescribable, limitless space of being. And of course, we are experiencing ourselves with a body, and in interactive life also that comes. And there's nothing wrong with that. That can flow, because there are certain actions that are coming through which, when they are flowing out of your harmony, it's as though they are wind assisted. It's as though something helps them to flow and unfold with more grace and less stress and less strain. So those I call what I call the activities that are in alignment with your being. That's not to say that effort is not present. Effort is there when effort is required. But the stress and the strain usually come into play only when we begin to identify personally and from an ego-centered perspective. And these things are changing by themselves. I don't have to give you 17 steps to realization or something. I point only to that central seeing, which itself is the seeing and the being are kind of one. And we may at some point find that the words by themselves don't do it, but they are tremendous indicators that allows a deeper power within you to comprehend them, to the point where I say the words or the concepts, they combust into spiritual essence. I hope these are not too much words. I'm trying to find always simpler ways of expressing them, but sometimes it's important to kind of break it down bit by bit, so that the understanding it gets more grounded, and you can confirm, yes, but it is like this, you see. And so life will continue sometime, to, as it were, manifest intense place in daily life. But as you keep registering your own self-awareness, these seeming challenges, difficulties sometimes, get somehow transformed into opportunities for transcending. So you're not just, we struggle when we meet the things of life only from a personal perspective, because the person is very strongly, very, very limited. It is also consciousness, but it is restricted to I am the body, I am my mind, and conditioning. So these are operational, but they are not fulfilling, because the very sense of being a person is unreliable, unstable. You are discovering deeper, not layers. I can use word like layers. No word I'm saying is actually so totally true. You see, the words are only, like I say, symbols or indicators of something that itself is wordless, in fact. And I'm very happy when words assist so much. They do. They help you because we're using the mind up to an extent, but we're not relying on the mind. We're using concepts, but we're not relying on concepts, because you are here before concepts. It's like concepts are made for you, not you are made for concepts. There's a biblical equivalent of what I've said to you, but so you are making use of those things and looking and confirming your true position, so that you don't get sucked into the crossfires of the mind. You don't get sucked into the tsunami of the mind, which is what tends to happen when we are meeting things from a very personal perspective. So of course you're going to be happier. You're going to find much more space in your being, because the kind of space I'm speaking about, you could be living in a cardboard box and you are living within the infiniteness of yourself. And you could be living in a palace with thousands of rooms and still feel claustrophobic if you are living from the shallow perspective of just the mind. And you are discovering the reality of this, that it is so, you are so available to your own self. And so,
do you have any other final, just interesting, my sister came to help me with my mother, and being able to observe her reactions, I've seen my own personal reactions, and
yes,
it's just a beautiful mirror and reminder.
Yes.
And she doesn't understand where I'm coming from at all, and that's okay, and I just let that be. And I know I honor this, but is there any other thing that you can say to me? Or
well, as far as the personal thing, if we look because there is that aspect of oneself. I mean, your sense of the mind brings that from this background of an archive of personal history and whatever like that. So on the level of personhood, you will see from time to time the idiosyncrasies and the kind of stuckness and things that comes in personhood. Now, before, and what many people have done until they're discovering what you are discovering, is that we try to take on the mind to try and, in a way, transcend the mind, but as a person. And that would be like trying to, it works, it's helpful, and it's good that one tries to evolve and to get better and to grow as a person. That is also valid. But what I would actually encourage you more is that as you are discovering the very beingness in which the sense of the person and the person's life and all and phenomenal life appears in the space of your beingness, just keep bringing your attention back to recognize your place when you may have a trouble in the mind, because it's that the mind is here to serve your physical and mental and emotional life mostly. But as you go more deeply into the depth of your being, the mind field becomes very narrow for you, more narrow. And here is what needs to be recognized, because for so long it's been overlooked. Now you're discovering, broadening in the place of being. That very broadening, the more you give importance to this, it has the power to bless every aspect of your expression also, is illumined by it. Do you follow what I'm saying here? Rather than targeting each one thing, as we were before, as you are remembering and resting in the oneness of being, that is automatically illumining and what I would say, purifying other aspects of your expression. And it will come, you will be able to target and to recognize the areas that need to be looked at more. They will happen more spontaneously. And the necessary power to neutralize those negative influences when you are here. What must happen and will happen if you continue is that you begin to see that all of life is moving within the space of your awareness. And here, even in the body, it might feel like a bodily sense also. When you think of yourself, it is not about dates and achievements and places, so on, but more the sense of being. It's not so much literal physical data that you're remembering that represents you, but more a quality of being that is shapeless. Now, it takes a certain maturity to come to that level of seeing and acceptance. Acceptance is very important, because if we're not ready, it can feel like a shock to the person mind. And it was, whoa, I don't want to go there. But that's just a behavior in the mind and not in your being. Because all things come from the being. You exist before your body came. I don't know if you're ready to hear something like that.
The words I was never born kept wanting to ring true, and letting that really seep in, because I did Kundalini yoga for many years, and I was very health conscious and very body conscious. So that is a little seed that I need to. But I'm feeling the spaciousness and the aliveness that is just being. It's so
let me
quiet.
go back to the statement you made just now. You said you know or you believe you were never born. I was never born. You said like this? You know it or you believe it?
It seems like that's where the hiccup is. So
Yes. Okay, so let me say something about that, because how can that be proved in any way? Well, forget about trying to prove it to anyone. That's not to do with anybody. The I, when you say I was never born, we have to look to what you mean by I when we say I. Because everyone uses I. Everybody says I. Every sentient being either says it by word or by reference, the sense I, the existence here. You see, I was never born. Look at what this I can be. Who can say that? Because if it is a person, the person definitely was born. You see?
Yeah.
Okay.
Right.
So it must mean something more than a personal statement. I, John, was never born. That doesn't mean anything. So if what is it that was never born? Was never born. To be born means to be born into shape also. And by shape, I mean the shape even of a concept or of an object or anything that is created out of the elements. You can say came into shape. It was born as an idea. It was born as a form. But something was never born. It's also called the unborn. And that points only to that supreme awareness self. You see?
Right.
And that is not a conviction that's going to be realized only in the mind. And I'm not going to give it to you as a job also, but just to say to continue, as I do sometimes, to say to some people I say who are not used to this type of discussion, you know, I say to them, just sit for just even 5 minutes and like turn the engine off of the mind. And how I go through this, I would just say, don't hold on to any thought or intention, okay? And let's don't hold any thought or intention. And then I could say, okay, do another one, 3, 2, 1. Don't hold on to anything that is to do with past. Another one, 3, 2, 1. Don't hold on to anything to do with future or even present as present moment in time. Just leave those thoughts. Let them just drain away. Try to be as empty as you can be, like that. And even the sense of I, the most intimate of all, let it be contentless for a moment, and to be with this. And don't allow, even though thoughts may appear, let them flow through. Don't follow any thought for a moment. And this is not a state of hypnosis, not asking you to use your imagination or anything, just a simple exercise. And as you do this, to be empty, you are not a container of any sort at all. Just be aware of what remains by itself that cannot be taken away. Just be aware. It has no form at all. And I call that the awareness self itself. And simply keep your attention here in an imageless and wordless way. Even the sense of being, carrying no history, being like this. But be conscious, don't drift off into sleep. Watch for that, because the tendency, when we strip back to the bare essential being, the tendency of the mind is to manifest sleep. But even the sense of sleep, be aware of it and know, not that, it's not also. You are not sleep. Awareness is not sleep. And it's not the regular waking up also. But you are aware, you're totally alive, but not in the necessarily personal way. You're here. And to sit like that for 5 or 7 minutes, as long as you feel totally good and comfortable here. And I want to... Yeah?
There's the mind, like thoughts, the thoughts are not an issue, but it's... I'm aware of a resistance, and I try not to put too much emphasis on it.
Yes.
But again, it's that body thing again. Like I feel it clearing, and it feels good, and then I get kind of lost in the like it's
okay.
the
okay,
bodily
stop.
feelings
So,
that.
Let's take it one step at a time now, okay, Anna? So you mentioned this, okay, it's not so much the thoughts here, but it's a more bodily, visceral kind of effects are coming. They're also phenomenal. They are also phenomenal, and it's almost trying to target. Let's look. If you could give this a character, it would be almost like this character is trying to get you to get back into the shape of memory, the remembered person. You see?
Mm-hmm.
Now, remember, every awakened being knows what we are talking about now. They've been through that stage where it just feels like, and so what happens is it's catching attention, you see? And the attention then is like pulling you back into the shape, a particular shape, which is a limitation again. And in that shape, then you start to feel, I feel so much like this, I feel like that. But in your natural space, it's not a feeling. It's beyond feeling. It's just what is. So feelings can happen, but you're not here for a feeling. You are that within which even the most subtle feeling is experienced and not held onto. Even the most beautiful feeling can come, but it's not clung to. You see? And look what happened. Just spend more time. And if you feel somehow destabilized or pulled back into shape, don't give it so much importance. Just come back to where you are again. Don't count anything as you cannot fail. You cannot, the self cannot even succeed. It is just a fact, the only fact. By fact, I mean that which is unchanging. Everything else is a kind of fiction. Now, as you see, as I'm talking about this, when I use the word else, I'm not being dismissive in any cynical way. I am very comfortable with all else, because all the else is still is still arising within the space of what I am. So I have no issue with what comes and goes, nor am I disappointed with them. This is what I mean, resting or abiding in your own stillness. And this, what I'm speaking about, I want to say to all of you listening now. These days we have this wonderful service of internet, and it makes possible. Many of you are tuning in right now from all parts of the world. Okay? I want to just remind you that not so long ago, these kind of conversations would not have been possible in this way. Okay? That they are conversations I would have with selected students of mine to go into some research, experiential researches, that most people would never hear about it. And I am still not looking to get everyone to understand. Just those who have an earnestness and have a craving for the self, a developing and emerging urge to go deeper into the discovery of the self. I don't intend that what I'm sharing comes to evangelical proportions or something. I'm not here to start any new religion. I'm only here to speak and to point to the truth that is transcendental to all our categorizations of human behavior. And it is your fundamental and essential nature. So sometimes we speak, and then somebody from way over there is criticizing, I don't know what they're talking about. These conversations were not meant for you. If that is, you see, because I don't know if I'm coming across in the right way. You know, anyone is welcome who has that urge to look. I am not here to sit and to get into arguments of agreement and disagreement at all. But for one who is willing to look, I can tell you, the fruit of your discovery is right here with you. So that's what we look at. And the point about that we are experiencing together, and anybody can come and join into this kind of discussion. You can, pay the price to enter a retreat and do this. And in one way, this is fine. It is fine. It's fine. But there are areas of introspectiveness and focus that I can only work with some to come and to look. And your discovery is incomparable. Incomparable. So I don't intend to, get telling as many people about this, because you know what? It would be a strain for me. It would be a headache for me. I would prefer to work with you if you already feel this urge and you can already feel that the proof of this is already happening inside your life. This is for me the evidence of your sadhana or spiritual search. So, I'm speaking like this, not just to you, Anna Maria, to all of us. We are speaking like that, who is available to hear my voice right now. And I am deeply touched by the quality. This is an open satsang, so everyone is welcome to come, of course. And it is also, on top of that, it's for a good cause to support, the school in Rishikesh. This is also very important. That's why I said I'd come to here. But I'm also very touched by the quality of the interactions so far. And there's more to go. It's not piles and piles of notes. I am not teaching by piles and piles of notebooks, but by direct pointing and to see if you can catch it. I'm also open for other questions. Let's see. I'm here for this time that I've offered, and I see, even in speaking with Anna, I'm pointing you now to just say, because you asked, is there more I can share with you? Well, actually, infinite more, but not in terms of piles and piles of, kind of what I'd call data, not in terms of, more and more concepts. I'm more into concept reduction in order to kind of just get to the essence. The concepts are only pointers to that deeper discovering, and it is the experiential discovery that is even beyond value for you. It's only reintroducing you to your original place, you see? And of course, yes, where the mind energy is going to come. I mean, if you are cooperating, if you are someone who is very, very engrossed in your personal life and your personal sense of being, the mind is like a wonderful tool. You're a wonderful tool to go and explore. But as soon as you begin to turn towards self-discovery of the nature that I'm speaking about, the mind begins to rebel. It's like, whoa, why you want to do that? Am I not good enough? It's as though like this. So you're going to come under fire. You're going to feel that so many things are trying to get in the way to stop you from going deeper. And to some extent, if you're wise, you'll know that it's because you're onto something tremendous. Because the psychological mind will not support anything that threatens its domination and its existence. As long as we live in the limited field of personhood, your scope is quite narrow. You may not feel that within your life, but in the greater space of true existence, where you are truly eternal, the person is never going to be eternal or timeless. Your mind conceptual shapes and belief is nothing eternal about them. Everything is temporary manifestations. You who begin to discover the truth experientially will be knowing this, what I'm speaking. And you'll be very happy for it. Because as you are discovering that, wait a second, I've been living in a very tight zone here. And now looking from the place that I've been shown, it's like there's no boundary to my being and looking. I'm not asking you to give up something really valuable for something less. I'm not even asking you to give up anything at all, actually. but just to look. And the power is in your earnestness to look and to discover and be. That is the power of the satsangs. You see? So
I already feel more still and quiet. So thank you so much. I love you so much.
yes, still and peaceful and quiet, these are the perfume of your being. But what you are is beyond perfume. Something not beyond in terms of distance, but in terms of subtlety. Right where you are, it is here, you see? It cannot be recognized visually. It is recognized intuitively. And I just will encourage you to continue just like you are. And be aware that the mind storms may come from time to time. But see them as opportunities to test your discernment rather than to topple you. Because the more you are discovering the true nature of self, you'll see that no storm can touch you. Okay? Nice talking to you, Anna. Okay, very good. Thank you. Okay, thank you. Okay.
Mooji? Mooji, this is Janice. Namaste. I've been coming to Rishikesh to volunteer at Ramana's garden for several years.
I see.
And it's through that I learned of you. And so my days would be composed of walking from Lakshmanjul along the Ganga to your sadhana, to wait in the queue line for the silence and the numbers called, and to come into the sacred ashram that was so transformed and be with you. And then returning on a tuk-tuk with the energy of leaving the gates and seeing all the drivers and the people and the coconut water, and then heading up to Ramana's to volunteer for the afternoon.
Yes.
And I just want to thank you so much. Thank you for offering this to Ramana's today. And to let you know, I've learned so much from you, not just your words, but how you behave. I was always marveling at India that the distractions didn't distract you. I could see you hear the tuk-tuk or the horn and then just, back to the self. So I have learned a lot. And I think one of the most fun things I learned from you is to pee to be free. I don't know if you remember saying that.
Pee and be free.
Yes.
Yes.
Talking about the ego is going to want you to get out of this room right now and go pee because it can't handle this. Stay in your seat. And if you have to pee in your seat, that's fine.
I don't know it's going to go down so well to hear that, but I love that you can say that. It's very good. And only those beings who recognize the power of that advice. Of course, this is one of the things, you see. This is one of the things that I'm talking about, that, in our intimate sessions of speaking, where we, in a sense, we close the doors and we get into the space of just, yes, we're here to look and to discover, we are free. We speak in that freedom like that. And of course, again, meeting in this very specific way, we have arranged to meet in this way. We have a space for discovering and looking together. And so I can talk like that to those who come, because I know they can take my talk. Sometimes I may say something that someone would think, oh my gosh, that's a bit rude or something. I don't mean to be, but it's just my way, I guess. But you understood it rightly. Better to be there, because I remember one time, actually, and this is a really good one, actually. I remember one time, it was the days in Tiruvannamalai, and I was in Satsang, and we were looking and breaking things down and coming to what was feeling like it is a tremendous recognition point. And I saw a woman creeping out the room. So I say, where are you going? like this. And she stopped, she goes, I was going to the toilet. And I think this was the time I said, she says, I said, better to stay here and wet yourself and discover the truth now. Yeah? So you like this, no? So I said, this is where the P and be free thing come. Because the mind itself had created this full bladder in a way, I was saying, because to stop you from hearing the very thing I felt she needed to hear in this one occasion, because in every occasion it's different, I don't plan my satsangs, I don't rehearse anything, everything is totally spontaneous. But in that was the case that I said, now is not the time to leave this room, my dear. You see, stay just for another few moments. Let me finish my point. But something was going out. I said, no. Where are you going? And she froze. It was quite funny. So,
Mooji, may I ask you, it's personal, but would you mind sharing a bit about your time with Papaji and how you and Prabhavati met, perhaps?
Yeah.
The children's home in Ramana's garden?
Cha. Well, my time with Papaji, I speak about it quite often. Less so now, because I think everybody had heard it, that, I had already a profound change had happened in my life in 1987, it was. And it was through meeting a young man called Michael. I refer to him as a Christian mystic because that's what he was for me. I grew up in a very Christian environment, and so I'm very used to the dialogues and the ways of growing up in my place in Jamaica. We have Baptist Church, Seventh-day Adventist Church, we have Catholics, we've got Anglican Church, so many different denominations functioning, Church of God, all of these things happening. But when I met Michael, something was a little bit different for me, because he was very approachable. As a matter of fact, I did not approach him. He came and knocked on my door. I was not there. And my partner at the time said, I'm making stained glass, and I saw some fresh stained glass in your window. Did you make them? And she says, no, my partner made it. He'll be back later if you want to meet him. And that's how I came to meet him in the evening. And then I found that from that first meeting, we just resonated, and something felt very comfortable with him. And it continued for a few months, meeting without arrangement. I would feel like I need to talk to him, and he would show up. And we would talk. He was always talking about the life of Christ and speaking so much, more like a disciple than a preacher. And then one day I asked him, after having a beautiful session together of talking, I asked him, next time, Michael, when you pray, will you pray for me? And he said, yes, but we can do that right now. I thought, oh, okay. And he prayed for me, put his hand on my head and prayed for me. And I don't remember what his prayer, word by word, was. But when he was finished, myself, I prayed and asked, God, please come here and reveal yourself in my heart, or something like that. And, I've prayed many times in my life, but somehow this one, something really changed. I felt after Michael said goodbye at the door, I felt wonderfully spacious and empty and very quiet. And so much so that I didn't want to, it was evening time, I didn't want to go to bed. I just felt if I went to bed, I was feeling so happy. I felt if I went to bed and I woke up, this feeling would be gone. But of course, I could not fight against nature. At some point I fell asleep, woke up early in the morning, and it was still here. It was still here. This wonderful, cocooned, not anything like I've experienced before. It's so wonderfulness. And I knew in my heart, this is the presence of God as awakened within my heart. And a deep peace was felt inside my being. And it has never left, I have to say. It had never left since that time. And I continued to live in Brixton, in the place where I'm living in London, for 6 years before an opportunity came for me to go to India. And I went to India. I did not want to stay within the church I was going to, where Michael was going. Something was not comfortable there. So I moved away from that particular church. I didn't go to another one. I stayed by myself. And I feel that somehow I was guided like that to spend more time by myself. And in that time, I felt that God was my guru. I didn't know the term guru, by the way, but I say now, God is my guru. I felt like God was in this house, and God and myself was living in this place here. It was feeling like that. So in 1993, I had the opportunity to go to India, having discovered the teachings of a great sage in India called Sri Ramakrishna. I went there, and with the intention to go there in Calcutta to where the saint lived once, because he had died many years before. But instead I came to meet Papaji. And purely by chance, but at the same time I knew by guided steps, unbeknown to my own mind, I was guided to meet him. And through meeting Papaji, it took me a few months before I actually went in front of him and presented myself. And it was, from my mind, it was a terrible meeting. It was a terrible meeting. It was not what I expected, not what my mind would have wanted. My mind would have wanted Papaji to embrace me and say, "Oh, my son, you're welcome home. I've been waiting for you." And he just actually chopped my head off, basically, with words and with a power that I felt like it crushed whatever it was still inside my being. And that was when I really began to fall in love with him like that. And Pravavati will know these things because she was also a devotee, still is a devotee of Papaji. And I did not know her at that time, though I came to Rishikesh and spent time in Rishikesh. But subsequently, by grace, we came together when I began to visit Rishikesh. This was I don't know how long now. I was for quite a few years sharing satsangs in Tuduvanamalai in the south of India at Ramana Maharshi, that environment. But then it came time for a change, and I was very powerfully guided to come to Rishikesh. I don't want to go too much in the story of that. I came to Rishikesh, and while being here, I came to know about the center where Prabhavati had opened up for children who needed that kind of support that she's giving them. So I started to visit there, and we came to spend more time with each other and felt the same love that everybody feel when they're with Papaji. So that is a brief synopsis of our journey, and we've kept in touch. I mean, last time I was in Rishikesh also, we had a marvelous time together. She came to Satsang, and it's just, I think you know the rest. I'm just saying this on behalf of perhaps the many people who are not aware of why I would have participated in a satsang like this and where it came from. So if you have the chance to go there, any of you, and to support these causes, to check it out, the Ramana Children's Home there. So that's it briefly. Thank you.
Thank you.
Very nice, very nice. Now I see a lot of hands going up, and would you like to say something about that? See, Vera and Pablo is very, 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 very much shaking hands there. I want to say something. During the interactions that I'm privileged to experience with you and with many, many people on this subject of our true nature, if you notice, in each talk, I bring the conversation away from the person and back into consciousness. And this is what I endeavor to do on every conversation I have, because from the perspective of personhood, the waters are very shallow there, and there is not much then I'm speaking to one person. But when I speak to you as consciousness, I'm speaking to everyone. And I find that is the power of the satsang itself. Because when I speak to you as a person, then many people say, oh, I don't have that problem, that's not my thing. But when I speak to you as consciousness, it's everybody's thing. And this is why I don't feel so badly if I'm not able to take everyone's question like that, because I still feel that my answer is responding to everyone. What I would ask you each to do is to recognize, to take your identity out of the body-mind and put it in the consciousness. Give it to consciousness and try to listen on the basis of consciousness. And don't try too much with your mind, because already there's a force that is supporting this very moment that we are here together, is supported by a tremendous force. I know that grace is with you. So I need to say that, because on every retreat that I've had the opportunity and privilege to sit and share with beings, I've never been able to take all the questions, you see. But at the same time, I feel I've answered all the questions, because if your search is to help you to establish yourself as consciousness, which is the greatest achievement, attainment in the human kingdom for a human being, I would say that. Because everything else that we will attain, and nothing wrong with that, absolutely nothing wrong with that, because you can only be at the place you are for now. So, but every attainment, it is important for you to know that they are temporary. All things are transient. Everything comes and goes, including the person you presently think yourself to be, if you think of yourself as a person. But if you can begin to experience at the place of consciousness as consciousness, everything changes. Everything changes. Everything changes. You have stepped into eternity. And I stand with that as I am right here in front of you. So, out of my love and respect for who I know you to be, I avoid going into personal interactions too much. If I can get you to begin to experience on the basis of consciousness, then already you have stepped into eternity. And I don't feel that I can have a better conversation with you or a better interaction with you. And I want to say something else. I am conversing with each and every one of you, even if I don't speak with you. And I don't mean that as Mooji, as a person, is doing it. As a person, I am not anything. Not anything. I'm speaking to that in you, which is that in me and what I am. And to remind you, because this world is full of lies and distractedness. Nevertheless, realizing the self, you can continue living happily, full of joy and wisdom also, and love. This is why I feel it is so important to guide each one away from the traffic of the mental identity, personal identity, so that as you are coming out, you can see and verify for yourself how great it is to be stepping away and out of the limited field of this claustrophobic personal identity into the immensity of the true self. That is, for this reason, I happily participate in the opportunities of satsang. And I have to say, up until now, to this day, and here in this satsang where I'm having, on behalf of all of us and of the center, Ramana Center in Rishikesh, I'm very pleased with the quality of our interaction, if I can put it like that. So I will look at what more question I can take, because we say here, let me see, there are so many hands up, and I'm going to go to the Argentina Sangha for a moment and just see what is for a moment. Bear with us, please. Here we are coming. Here you go. Hi.
Hello. I love you, Guruji.
Love
Thank
you,
you.
love you, love you, love you. Very good. Good to see you.
Thank you for this beautiful space. Thank you for today.
Muchas gracias.
Thank you for what you're offering.
Thank you.
I want to share something very sincere and very profound that I experienced in the last retreat. On the third day, I felt extreme relief, as if something had been shed. And when I saw the eyes of my Sangha, I could see them and I could see the beauty in them. And the space opened and I felt like running. And I saw the mental constructions.
Yeah.
I saw the professional instructions that I had in my mind. But deep within I felt, wow, yes, it's possible and it's happening.
Yes.
And it's what I remember day by day. Yes. And this space is...
I love you too.
And my Sangha is beautiful.
Yes, Turo. All.
Sometimes in my belly I feel the constriction of the mind. But it goes on and on and on. Wow, it's done.
Yes. Beautiful. That, yes. What changes it is your attitude inside. It is not what is happening in the body or the mind, but it is how much you are thinking of it. If you think it is something big, it will have a big impact. If you see from the place of your true self, it's okay. Everything can come and go. Yeah, like that. Muchas gracias.
Thank you.
Thank you. Te amo.
I love you.
Love you. Thank you. And love to all the Sangha in
Y amor a toda la Sangha Argentina.
Okay. Muchas gracias. Very good. Okay. Very nice. Very wonderful. Who has something to share with me now? I want to see. Okay, Jeremy, speak with me for now. Let me see, and we'll look.
Whoa! Can you hear me?
Yes, I can. I can hear you.
Oh, whoa! It's just beyond amazing.
Wonderful, Jeremy.
Thank you, God, so much to be able to meet you. I'm so appreciative to be able to meet you. I just want to give this life all to you.
Hour is past 10.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can.
Okay, sorry.
Yes. Wonderful.
And I would love to look with you to discover this health.
Yes. Yes.
Oh,
Somebody's trying to get through there. What are we speaking there?
Jordan, I'll be done in a little bit, okay?
what are you doing?
I'm on the iPad.
What on the iPad?
I love you.
Huh?
I love you.
What are you doing?
I'm just on an online satsang. I'll be done in a little bit.
Okay.
The distractions.
It's okay. Don't worry.
Sorry about that.
Yeah, it's good. You said you wanted me to look with you through something?
Yes,
Okay,
please.
tell me what did you want to see?
I've noticed and become aware of that everything comes and goes.
Yes.
The thoughts, they come and go, and as long as you don't show too much attention to it or fight with it, it comes and it goes.
Yes.
But I would love to just be fully in this, to show the love of God to everyone and everything as much as I possibly can.
Yes. And okay, this is yes. Thank you.
And seriously, thank you so much for you.
Yes.
Seriously,
Thank you.
I love you so much.
Thank you. I love you too, Jeremy. Okay, so let's start at the place where you notice, and this is an open sharing right now. You are noticing, Jeremy, that everything comes and goes. Every thought, every sensation, every idea, every feeling appears and disappears. Even objects of perception, desires, every movement arises within, appears in front as though they're here. They play. When they're here, it's as though it's an audition for you to get involved in it. If you don't get involved in it, they just flow away, just like clouds passing. And it has been like this throughout life. Now that you begin to pay attention to it, because you pay attention, you notice that it is like that. So that already creates a lot of space in you, because it reveals that you have an option. That somehow, some things, even without thinking, I want to do this, you find yourself already as though there's an ongoing link, and you just ride on with this thought and so on. But it is really quite something that you discover that, they're momentary. Everything. Is there anything at all that is different from this, that doesn't come and go? Because everything is coming and going. And there must be something there that witnesses the comings and goings of everything else. Everything is coming and going. Okay? Whatever it is that is observing the comings and goings, and also is not particularly involved in them, that which is observing the comings and goings, is that itself coming and going?
No, it's constant.
Yes. Okay. Now, if it is constant, it means that it is unaffected by the traffic of thoughts and feelings, sensation. That's not to say that they're not important. We are a living being. We have the senses and the mind, so you can feel and experience life in all its fullness and variety. But from the place of the deeper being, you are discovering an untouched space, irrespective of how dynamic the senses and the mind is pulsating, how dynamic they come. Watch from this place that you have become aware of, the seeing place. Here is relatively still. It is, well, it is still. It is stillness itself. No? However, there's something that seems to move between the two. You may call your attention, Sometimes the attention gets caught by a particular phenomenon that manifests in the mind, and it connects. And right there, we are experiencing a sense of either entrapment or something. It's like you're caught there. And that can only happen when you become personal. And this is a very important pointer, because all problems, I'm going to say something now, and it might sound a bit radical, but check it out for yourself. All problems are person-based. Meaning that whenever you're feeling, oh, man, what's going to happen? Check and you see that it's because you've gone into the shape of personal identity again. If this is true, then this is going to be a tremendous pointer, actually. That when you're watching from the place of from just the place of beingness, where the senses are present, everything is present, but nothing is, you're not logging into the energy of anything particularly, but you can, actions, interactions, reactions are happening spontaneously without any intentional involvement. They're just happening. Life is moving. Most of life is moving in terms of the activity, and things are moving in life. You need not be disturbed by that. We get disturbed when there's something particularly that engages you personally. As soon as the person sense comes up, it's as though you've logged into something, which is fine, because even that personal identity arising, if you are used to paying attention, the sense of being can still be here. It's within the space of being that even the sense of the person appears, or anything personal appears in it. So this is the challenge, and the thing is that if you go into the state of personhood and you are fully involved in that, then it is as though something is eclipsing your spatial knowing, your uninvolved being. It's as though you go into the shape. That's just something to watch for. It's not the greatest evil in the world or anything like that. It simply means that somehow you're in a state of distractedness. The more you pay attention to the unmoving, just to keep recognizing the unmoving self or center of being, you begin to experience more that there's just a peaceful, you're experiencing is peaceful, centered, untroubled. There's an emerging wisdom in the way that you look and interpret things. The mind is more still field like that. Whenever we get involved into something and is suffering, the person is present in it.
Yeah, that's definitely true.
Yes, like that. So even when the sense of personhood comes up, and you pay attention from the place of being, and then it's as though the noise of personhood slowly comes back towards the being. That is something that is worth seeing every time. Now, at a certain point, you may discover that the quality of presence is itself a self-attraction more than the mind field, the mind stuff. And at a certain point, it's not that you're cutting off the world, it's just that you're more centered in the self. The more you're centered in the self, you find that the world, so to speak, of names and forms and activity, mental and otherwise, is it's not a problem. Some actions and reactions are taking place, interactions are taking place, but it's as though they're just happening. They're not You're not doing them. It's like they're activities that will call the body into action, but they are not a distraction in themselves because you are centered in your being. And the more you spend time consciously conscious of your being, the more power is developed there, the more the beingness is stabilizing away from the activities of the mind. This is something that is already powerful.
Oh, yeah, very powerful. Is like the isness? Is it like an expanse of like feeling? Is it a feeling? Because when I do the
I was gonna
meditation,
when I use the term isness, it really I'm pointing to the pure awareness. It is not a verb place. It's not. I'm not talking about energies. I'm speaking about that motionless, imperishable, undifferentiated, limitless awareness being, like that.
Yeah.
You see? So any chance of equating that with the most beautiful of feelings, even bliss, bliss can happen there. Consciousness itself in its dynamic functioning is also appearing in that. Knowledge is appearing in that. But none of them can somehow convey what this is. It's like you come to know spontaneously. You are this. It's not something that sounds good to say this to people, because no one is going to understand what it means. Because for the regular man in the world is not concerned about these things as yet. So it's not good to talk. It's better that you're living this than speaking about it. By living this, I mean that the perfume arising out of this awareness is that you become much more a global being. You become much more compassionate, and because you see that what you are in you is the same in each one. You just see that. It's not a belief, it's not a philosophy, it's a direct knowing. And something just another level of knowingness, I would say knowingness more than knowledge, comes into play where you intuitively are not know when to act. It's like everything is moving in its natural movement, unforced. It's very pleasant field. Anything can come. Pain can come also. The noisy mind can come, but they can't stay because it's not their orbit. They will come and they go. They come here for food, but there's no food for them in that way. The kind of negative states may come, but they only can get fed if you go into personhood. If you stay as merely the formless weakness of them, they cannot stay, and they evaporate, or they somehow thin away into oblivion, like that they happen. And this is very, very tangible, observing. You feel like that. So this place, that's what I'm speaking about, it will take some time for everyone to stabilize, because the current of the conditioned mind, will always be feeling like it's pulling you to come back into a relationship with the person and the personal life. So as you mature, maturity means as you continue to verify your true place experientially, the forces of distractedness are dropping away. And you will see that.
Wow. Oh, this is just beyond so amazing to be able to speak with you. I've watched like hundreds of your videos on YouTube of your satsangs.
Yes.
So it's just, I give all this life to you, Mooji, and thank you so much for everything that you do for everyone.
Yes, yes.
And
The joy for me is to see each one returning to their own heart's truth. And that is the most reliable stage or state. Every other state to do with personhood and past and time is fickle relative to what I'm speaking. Here is stable. And all the intuitive powers that are latent in you come alive in this more and more like that, you see. And if I could, with each one right now again, just to say, as we are right now, if I may invite you just to follow my words for a moment, just as we are here now, and you are naturally aware of your physical presence, you are here now. Your awareness of your physical being is observed, it's observable right now. If all the thoughts or the traffic of thoughts that come, these tourist thoughts that come right now, even your questions, however great they are for a moment, just leave them to the side for the moment. Just leave everything to the side. Whatever you have been hosting as some idea or cherishing as some concept or some philosophical perspective, for everything that arises as mind, the mind traffic, sensations, feelings, just let them play by themselves, but don't be engaged with that. So I say just leave that aside. As though just for a few moments together, as we are now, you are emptying out. Just empty everything out. And it doesn't take long. This is how marvelous and how powerful the consciousness is. If you will it, it obeys. So just like, right now, I'm not going to hold on to even a question or a hope, even to wake up, even the desire to wake up. Just everything that is an intention, simply leave that aside for now. And I see that you can. Empty, 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 empty. Even that sense of I, let it be there only without content. It's just the sense, the intuition, the sense of I. Don't engage with anything for a moment. So just imagine if everything could be taken out of thoughts and sensations, desires, attachments, projections, hopes, aspirations, future, time, past, present, all this left aside just for a few moments. You can do that. And you don't have to concentrate hard for this. Just that you will it is enough. I want you to know that. And now, there's only whatever there is that cannot be taken. Notice this. And it works for everybody. Give yourself this gift for a few moments to leave everything aside, all the thoughts, intentions, all the self-assessments, everything aside. Leave everything out, everything out. Look how possible it is. Be totally empty, 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 beyond even the effort or concept of emptiness, just empty. I'm asking you to do this so that we can look together for a few seconds, okay? A few moments together. Leave everything. What you know and what you don't know, leave everything aside. The body is here, breathing is happening. This is perfectly fine. Nothing suppressed. Just the empty space of being is here. And I'm asking you to do this because when you are totally empty, I can ask you a few questions about what is right now, about this right now. Empty, 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 with no intention at all. So just the space. Of course, if you're empty, you are aware also of emptiness. So the awareness is here now. Whatever is here right now. Is it an object? Please, you can just nod or something indicate that you are following what I'm saying, you see. Whatever you're aware of, whatever is, not created. Or I may ask you, are you creating what remains here? No. Okay. Whatever it is that simply is here. Is it moving about? Thank you for your responding, you see. Does it have any shape or size to it? I'm seeing each one of you, and so I'm speaking into your being, right where you are aware. Okay. This that is, which I sometimes, you may have heard me call the isness or the what is there any boundary beyond which it does not exist anymore? Only you here, only you I'm speaking with, you know. Is there any boundary beyond which it does not exist? And you say, no, there's no boundary. Is there any temperature there? Is it cold or hot? No, it is not this. Is it an effort? Is there an effort there? Is it something, is it an effort in any way? No. That which you are aware of, does it have any shape at all? No. Is it an object of perception? Is it a thing that can be perceived at all? Thank you. It is not a thing that can be perceived. Does that mean that it does not exist? Very good. That which you are directly aware of, can it disappear? Can it disappear? Can it fade? Can it fade? No, it's not fadeable, not fade, cannot fade. Can it leave? No, it cannot leave. Did you create it? Thank you. No, you did not create. Can it be destroyed? I'm so watching your response. Can it be destroyed? does it have an end somewhere? Even if it could go on, go for thousands, millions of miles, can you come to an end of it? No. Was it born? No. Can it die? Oh my word. Can it belong to one set of people and not to another? Can it belong at all to anyone? No. Can the mind exist outside of it? Is there anywhere that it is not? Does it reject anyone? May I ask, where is the distance between, is there a you and it? Would you have to stretch to catch it? Or, this is amazing. And look at that. I am simply asking you to be empty of the usual mind engagement. Just to leave it aside for a moment, because we can go back to that anytime at the end of this simple exercise. Let me ask you, are you under hypnosis at the moment? No. And what I wanted to discover here with this simple exercise, and to show you, when you are empty of all these things, empty of all your knowledge, university knowledge, home knowledge, everything, conditioning, I could ask you questions like these. Did you have to sit and think about your responses? Did you have to look it up in any encyclopedia? How you know these things? How you know these things? You said, I ask, is it an object? You say it is not an object. I ask you if it had any beginning. You said no. Does it have an end? You say no. Does it have a boundary? You say there's no boundary for it. I ask you, did you create it? You say no, you did not create it. Is it a feeling? No, it's not a feeling. Is it a thought? Is it you think about it? No, it's not thought. Can it fade? Like it was good now, but in maybe another hour it's gone. Can it go? I'm asking again now. It cannot go. Then I ask you, does it judge? No, it doesn't judge. What about if I ask you, can it become sick, physically or mentally? And no, it cannot do that. And then I ask you, how close are you to it to be giving such direct responses? How much distance? How far? Is it a few meters away? How far is it? You said there is what? Distance or no distance? No distance. No distance at all. So the reason why I ask you so directly so that I can now make a conclusion about it, that if this is your responses, I didn't see anybody scratching their head or running to look it up from some YouTube or something. Directly your responses came, and immediately. Why? Because all that you are perceiving is about your own self, the true self. The true self. Does it have a history? Does it have a history, I'm asking? You see? This is a directly non-dual recognition of the self. Again, this is a direct non-dual recognition of the self you truly are. Can it leave you? So now we can go back and pick up your old stuff if you want, because I asked you, you can leave it aside for a little bit so we can have this exercise so that you can be clear that you're not confusing this with your mind stuff. Okay? So, as promised, you can again pick up the old stuff about the mind and so on. So, if the mind comes in, can this move away? Oh, excuse me, the mind is coming. Can it move away? So, therefore, if mind comes in, it must come in within this. It comes in and go out like clouds in the sky moving about. But the sky does not go away. And this is the very essence of what I call the invitation to freedom. Simple exercise. What did you do? Did you do any spiritual gymnastics for it? So simply remember, when we get somehow caught up in the mind traffic, can this be lost? What is happening here is that the attention creates almost that there's a screen covering your natural awareness. But it's only apparently like that. It is not true. Can anything cover this pure awareness? I'm still asking. Can anything like the mind comes and says, okay, fine, I'm hiding the awareness now. I've shake my blanket, I cover. Can it cover the awareness and hide it? Would not the mind trying to cover awareness be also perceived in awareness as another cloud that passes also? Then if we have seen this, and if we are seeing this not by, mystical efforts, but simply by paying attention to the what is within you, then we have done very well today. We have done very well today. Is the isness, the what is, paying us a special visit today? Did it sign up for satsang as a visitation? No. It is always here. It is always here. Now, your mind, if you care to look towards your mind may have quite a few things to say about it. But that's only if you are interested, whoever you take yourself to be. Is the awareness afraid of the mind? So today, we have met today, and we are meeting right now, and I am recording this satsang today so that you may listen to it again. It's possible? Yeah, I'm getting from my team that, this is totally possible. That you can listen again to any portion of it or to the guided meditation and experience and confirm for yourself, not just mentally, but experientially in the heart for yourself. Would you like that? Very good. So I would like to take the opportunity again to thank Prabhavati ji and Ainak for, organizing this event, and to say thank you, to give us this opportunity to gather together for a very good cause. Very good. And Jay Papaji, thank you for this opportunity, and may I say bless each and everyone here today for your participation, for your attention, for your earnestness, and may you continue by the grace of the Self, by the power of God, to continue to deepen in this most important discovery. In my own words, I say the most important discovery in the human kingdom, to awaken and to continue to deepen in your discovery of the Self. May each one become increasingly a light in this world. A movement of silence and peace, of harmony and grace. A proof that the truth exists as the core and the source of this manifest universe. Let it be so. Let it be so. Om Shanti 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 Shanti. Om Namah Shivaya. Hallelujah. Amen. I would like to take a few moments just to sit, to bathe in your presence a bit for a while, if I can, for a few moments, and to sit. Thank you that we, even in times such as these, can have such opportunity to sit and to be looking together into, I don't want to say the most fascinating. I don't find that the Self is fascinating, but it's real. And to look heartward into the very source of being, and discovering that fundamentally this is what you are. Relatively and superficially, we are also this dynamic, active being moving in the world. We don't have to fight with that. That is not the problem. The problem is taking that to be what you are, which is essentially a changeful phenomenon, and that you continue to blossom in the immensity of the real. Thank you. Thank you. A few moments now. Thank you. that silence that is pervading your being. Is pouring out from the immensity of the timeless awareness that is. That formless space of pure awareness, being. Is our natural joy. The perfume of our natural state. You are in the proof of yourself. Keep it to yourself for now. Marinate in your seeing. Your earnestness wins the day. Your genuineness releases in you the love of God, the unbound peace of the real. And for some time, it has been not dormant, but eclipsed and seemingly hidden, even to the point of feeling it does not exist for so many. And yet, good or bad, it is the very source and heart, the essence of all that exists. And you are in that very heart of self-discovery. Beautiful. Even to say continue like this, how to continue? You're not continuing anything, it just is. It manifests as continuity by itself. There's no person continuing anything at all. Thank you. Thank you, thank you. Thank you. I love it.
Shri Ram, Shri Ram, Shri
Pablo.
Ram, Shri Ram.
Thank you.
Shri
Shivam, Shivam.
Ramachandra Kripalu Bhajama हरण भव भयदारुणम् श्रीरामचन्द्र कृपालु भज मन हरण भव भयदारुणम् नवकञ्जलोचन कञ्जमुखकर कञ्जपद कञ्जारुणम् श्रीराम
Stay, man. Thank you. Thank you. This is Yuri.
नौमि जनकसुतावरम् श्रीराम
Isha. Merv.
भज दीनबन्धो दीनेश दानवदैत्यवंशनिकन्दनम् रघुनन्दानन्दकन्दकोशल चन्ददशरथनन्दनम् श्रीराम श्रीराम
Mingyo, thank you. Wonderful. Shananda also. Shananda. Thank you. Yes, Judith. Juditha. Thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you, thank you. Love you.